Hey guys, it's Cameron. Today we're going to talk about why pull-ups are important. They just are. See ya. No, but really, pull-ups are important for so many reasons. Not least of all, that they are such a good exercise for shoulder health, done properly. And that's why we're going to talk about how to do them properly. But shoulder health is really important as you continue to age, because that helps with posture, it helps with neck health, it helps with the headaches and everything else that everybody complains about. Just look at the video from last week and Dee will talk about all of the muscles that are hit during a pull-up. This week we're going to focus on how to get to the pull-up even if you don't have a pull-up bar handy at your house and can't get to a gym quite yet. Let's go check in with Dee and see what we're doing.
So like we talked about in our last video, which I know you all watched and liked and subscribed to, right? We talked about lats as the main movers in the pull-ups, and that still is always going to ring true. But especially this week, as we're talking about a few more accessory exercises to help you really strengthen your pull-up, we have to talk about some of those smaller muscles more in depth. So that means we're looking at the low and mid traps, which are big movers for those small scapula, those small shoulder blades. When those muscles are strong and we can fire them, they help those shoulder blades rotate up and down your spine for better tracking and better guidance of your body through the pull-up. Then, especially when we take a look at the hollow body exercises that are helping us to keep stable in our pull-up, that's our whole core system. So we're looking even at the superficial abs, those rectus abs, the six-pack abs, those ones are working to help sort of hold us into that kind of curved banana shape. Then we've got the obliques on for support, and then the deep TVA. Those are the ones that go underneath and they sort of come together and bring lots of support to the body. So that's why if you're struggling with your pull-up, maybe you need to take a look at some of these other little systems, because if one of those little things is missing, it's going to make it a lot harder for that pull-up to feel strong and to keep progressing.
If you have no equipment at home, but you still want to work on strengthening your pull-up and pulling your full body weight, or just lying on the floor having a slumber party with your friends, you can do a prone sliding floor pull-up. This uses all the same rules and mechanics we talked about, where we're going to work our shoulder positioning, our tight core position where we're squeezing everything, and then it's also going to work our full range of motion, and we're using part of our body weight. So you can see Jess is just sliding along the floor, but she's setting her shoulder blades, creating tension into the floor, gripping with her palms, and pulling her whole body weight across the floor. It's a great way to clean your floor, especially during quarantine, so you can get a great workout that way. But this is a great option to get used to pulling your body weight and getting used to tightening your body so that it's easier for you to slide across the floor. If this is still really intense for you because you're not used to pulling your body weight, you can always go up close to a corner or an object on the wall, and you can push off of the wall to help you get started through the movement. The nice thing about this is it is a push and pull, because you're having to pull yourself up, but also have to create tension to push yourself down. And you notice Jess is also lifting herself off the floor a little bit without arching her back. So she's working a little bit more of her upper back mobility. And if we have an open upper back, it's going to give us more range of motion through our overhead pull, like a pull-up, and even our overhead press. Way to clean your floor, Jess. There's a spot in the corner that you missed, so you might want to do some over there. If you don't have any equipment at home and you want to build towards your pull-up or do some warm-ups for your pull-up, we can do a hollow body hold. The only equipment you need is a floor or a surface and yourself. So with this, we want to think about creating lots of tension in the body. So it starts with core tension by flexing the abs, and that's from our superficial abs, but also our deep core. And then we also want to think about reaching the shoulders long, tucking the chin a little bit, all by lengthening our spine. And then we're trying to curl the tailbone off of the floor so we get this global rounding of the body. She's also going to squeeze her legs together to create some extra tension there because we want her body to be a tight lever so she's an easier weight to move when she's pulling herself up. And so Jess is going through some variations to shorten her body and take some of the tension off her core to make it a bit easier, or lengthen her body, putting more tension on the core and making it harder. Generally in our pull-up, we are going to be holding our body in a long lever, so it's really great and helpful for your pull-up to work on getting to that full length, but we also need to meet our body where it's at, so that might mean starting with a little bit more of a shorter position and just building on that. Nice job, Jess. Nice ab work. If you have no equipment at home, this is a great way to work on your shoulder stability and strength to build up the strength for your pull-up. So luckily, most people have books, so Jess has her books out here, and we're going to do a floor dip hold. If you do have parallel handles, you could also use those, and you might even be okay to just work right from the floor. So this is still going to work on the same scaption movement we talked about with our hanging exercises, where Jess is going to pack her shoulders down, and when she does that, you see her body lifts off. So she's still keeping a strong core, squeezing her legs together. But here she's going to control as she presses up and draws her shoulder blades down. And then she's going to control as she lowers her body, allowing her shoulder blades to lift off a little bit. So it's all a controlled movement only through the shoulders. It's a very small movement. If this is really tough, you can always bend your knees to take some of the tension off the shoulders, and then it lets you use your lower body to help. So it'll feel a little bit easier. You can always mix and match your reps if you want to start with straight legs for as long as you can and then scale back to bent knees. That lets you meet your body where it's at and find the tension that works for you. We're going to look at how to do pull-ups with a minimal setup at home. So you might not have much equipment, but you might have some sturdy furniture that you can work off of, like Jess's fabulous countertop here. So if you don't have a countertop like this, you could also use a sturdy dining table. That'll work just the same. So Jess is going to look at our inverted row or upright seated pull-up. So depending on what kind of equipment you have, you can slide under it a little bit more for a row or get closer to the edge to get more of an overhead pull-up position. So if you don't have much of an overhang on your surface that you're using, you're going to be into a little bit more of an inverted row position, meaning you're leaning back, doing more of a horizontal pull. So like this, Jess is braced off of the edge, she's gripping onto the ledge, and she's going to go through all those little components of our pull-up. First, she's getting those scapular movements. So this would be our overhang scaption. So she's going to let those shoulders slide up and down her body. She's active and controlling the movement, and this is a great way to start building your shoulder strength for your pull-up. Then we can go right into our full pull-up here. So this would be going through all those same upper body movements where we set the shoulders, pull up, keep them packed at the top, and then control them down. But this lets us have a little bit of assistance from the floor. So you can push as much or as little with those legs as you need to. So say you need a little more help on the way up, you can really push from the floor, but maybe on the way down you feel stronger, so you can take a little bit of weight off of the feet. This is a good way to just adjust the intensity to meet your body where it's at. So if you don't have a surface that's high enough to get a vertical pull while you're sitting on the floor, you can go for an inverted row where you're going to be fully horizontal going into your movement. This is still a great way to get you used to holding your own body weight as a load, and a great way to build strength and stability in your shoulders. So here Jess has an overhang on her countertop, and she's going to go into the hardest variation of our inverted row. She's holding her body essentially in a plank position. Abs are tight. She's squeezing the legs together to make herself a tight lever, and she's still going through all of our shoulder mechanics through the movement. She sets her shoulder blades, squeezes them together to pull her up, and keeping her stable as she goes up and down through the movement. So if this is too intense, you can always bend the knees and push from the floor for a little bit more help. So if you're not able to get that full range of motion that we talked about, this is a great alternative. You can even split your set half and half. If you're doing a few more reps or doing a little bit more volume, you could start and do as many as you can with good form with straight legs, and then just adjust and bend the knees to finish off your set, or just get some extra tension out of those shoulders. Great job, Jess. Working it on the countertop. If you have minimal equipment at home and you want to strengthen your pull-up, here's a hollow body variation that's going to help work your lats and strengthen your shoulders a little bit more. So we're still going to use the principles of our hollow body where we're flexing our abs, squeezing the legs together, creating good tension, but then we're going to add the shoulder movement to it. So Jess has anchored a band behind her. You can anchor it to a doorknob, have a friend that lives with you hold it because they're really nice. And we're going to do a lat pull down or our pull-up movement. So Jess is still going to think about working her full range of motion in the shoulders. She's going to squeeze her shoulder blades down, pull, keeping her elbows right underneath the wrists, and then control the band back up, and then get her full range and let the shoulders slide up at the top. So while she's doing this, she's holding that hollow body position, just like if you were doing a hanging pull-up. This is a great way to scale back the pull-up exercise, but still work on all those really important components we need to be able to own your pull-up.
Hey guys, thanks for watching us. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. You can also press the bell icon if you want to get notifications from us. Also check us out on social media at 3wave_fitness. We also have a Patreon page that we're really excited about. You can support us online and you get extra features like bloopers, program planning, and access to our video library. Finally, we want you to let us know what your biggest challenge is right now, whether that be with pull-ups or something else. Feel free to message us or comment on our video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy, and we'll see you soon.